we send our tax dollars to Harrisburg, we expect them to be used efficiently and properly. One lawmaker is taking aim at the abuse of welfare dollars. Joining me now is State Representative Aaron Kaufer. Representative, welcome.
Thank you, Anthony. Thank you for having me.
The issue that you've been looking into is something that maybe a lot of people aren't even aware that's happening. Person filing for welfare in more than one state. How did you find out about this issue?
Well, on my first week after being sworn in, I sat down and read the Public Welfare Code. 220 pages of probably one of the most boring reads you'll ever have in your life. But having sat down and went through it, I wrote down 13 and 14 questions in reading it, and I passed them to the research department. They said, no, that's already the law. I said, can you just do me a favor and look into it? And they came back and said, you're exactly right. We aren't enforcing right now interstate welfare. Now, welfare is done on a state-by-state basis. It's really an issue that each state has to adopt the policies done through the federal government. And so for our state, we are paying people who are receiving benefits in multiple states, multiple welfare benefits, and people shouldn't be doing that. We need to make sure that the dollars that we're spending in Pennsylvania are going to Pennsylvania residents.
You mentioned that this is an interstate system. How would this system work, and have our neighboring states agree to participate?
So this is the first of really, there's two pieces of legislation I'm working on, both that I've sent around for co-sponsorship. But this is really the first step in the direction. And what this will do is we as residents will, we as Pennsylvanians will notify other states when people come here and try collecting. So if somebody comes to our county assistance office and says, I'm from New Jersey, I was collecting such and such here in this program, we're going to then call and make sure that in New Jersey they are no longer collecting. If they are coming from New Jersey, we want to make sure that they weren't collecting any of these benefits. This is the first step, is we will notify another state. The second bill that I have put forward is an interstate compact so that other states can opt into this program, so that if we notify you, you'll do the same and notify us. And it's basically just a reciprocal agreement so that we can make sure that our tax dollars aren't going to waste.
And that's a good point, because it's obvious that every dollar going into public assistance should be used to help Pennsylvanians in need. But why else is this legislation important? Well,
this is a multi-million dollar issue, according to the Auditor General. That's the numbers that he told me that I could use, that I could say that specifically. Because he's working on an audit of this right now to find out exactly how much money we're talking about, and his audit will come out in the fall. When we're talking about raising taxes, about taking more money off people who are working hard, we have to look at the people who are hardly working as well. And if we have money that's being abused, of people who are scamming the system, we need to make sure our dollars are going to those who are truly in need and who truly need the help. And if we're not helping the people who need help and need that hand up, we're just right now continuing that hand-out system. And we need to stop the people who are scamming that system and make sure that we're moving people from welfare to work in a dignified manner. And what that does, it restores the public's trust. And that's the biggest issue. People don't think government works for them. We need to restore the public trust, and this is a step in taking that step in the right direction.
Since Republicans took control of the House, welfare reform has been talked about and debated multiple times. However, we've constantly heard from the other side that they weren't in agreement for whatever reason. But one of their own icons, more or less, in the Democratic Party, back in '96 when he was President, Bill Clinton, said that welfare needs to be made what it is, a second chance, not a way of life. Do you feel that you have more bipartisan support on this than maybe other issues that were debated?
Absolutely. This is a bill that has bipartisan support. There are 35 co-sponsors on this, Republicans and Democrats. We're working with both parties to get this done. Everybody has their own story of being in the grocery store and having the fillets and lobster tails in front of them, somebody pulling out the access card and paying for it that way. It's because people are trading these cards across state lines. They're abusing the system. We need to make sure that the people who are on welfare aren't living better lifestyles than the people who are working. And in my area, that's the case right now. People in my area are fed up with what's going on, being treated as second-class citizens to people who are collecting welfare and defrauding the system, abusing the system for their own benefit, not for the benefit of society. And right now, I think People are fed up with that. They're fed up with the direction of welfare is going. It is supposed to be a hand up, as you mentioned, not a handout.
And we're only 6 months into the legislative session, which is your first term, and already you've been working hard. This is your first piece of legislation introduced. Anything else that you're working on for the near future?
There's several pieces that I'm working on in regard to welfare fraud. Those are the first two big steps, and so really this is the biggest thing that we can be doing right now in that regard. I have a focus on a lot of different legislative issues going on right now, including municipal pensions being a major concern, and as well as other issues throughout the state, workforce development. But right now, because we didn't really have a leader on welfare reform, I've sort of stepped into that role because there was a big gap. And if we're going to address the issues and restore the public trust, I can't emphasize that enough. This is about restoring the public trust, making sure that they know that we're spending their tax dollars efficiently. And we're not doing that right now. So, I've stepped into this role. I'm excited and happy to be talking about a really important issue that's happening in our state.
All right, Representative Kaufer, thanks for joining us. Obviously, a very important bill. Welfare is a large chunk of the budget pie, and it's good to see House Republicans are still committed to trying to fix the problems.
Thank you, Anthony. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. If you have comments or questions about this or any other legislative topic, Representative Kaufer's contact information will be on the screen in a few moments. Thanks for spending a few minutes with State Representative Aaron Kaufer.